so that we can record. Let me share my screen just for a second. Oh, that's my schedule. Whoa. Let's get off my schedule. Okay, cool. Here's where I want to go with it though. Let me try to go all the way from the just close your eyes, pretend like none of this exists right now. Okay, here's where I want to go with it though. Can everybody see my screen? Like, you guys good? Okay, awesome. Let me kind of make my people so I can see you guys. Here we go. Okay. So we always talk about data. I just put it in a way for you guys to all see it a little bit better. And you can screen shoot it, all those things. So let's start from the top. Agents in our Ben Kinney / Your Davis team little network that we have here in Texas. And it's not so little anymore, right, guys? Agents 55 this time last year. Now we have 88. That's an increase of 60%. Way to go. Listings 107 this time last year, 74 this year. So we're actually down 31%. Half of that is the market because everything is selling quick. The other half is we've gotten really busy. And when we get busy, guys, what happens, right? The things that make us successful are the first things that go out the door, right? And so we know that. And if that's you, just figure out a way to add 1 hour of lead gen back into your schedule. I'm not saying go for 3 right away. If you've gotten off the boat, get back on the boat with at least an hour, and you'll see how you tap that merry-go-round and you get your listings back. Buyer reps 267 last year. We're now at 380 this time this year, 42% increase there. Pending contracts, you guys, 148 last year at this time. 260 this time. So I know you guys are busy. Look at that number. That's a 76% increase year over year. Look at your pending volume, right? The price points going up really helps us, right? $47 million last year, $105 million pending this year. That's an increase of 123%. That means we're making more money, and that feels good, right? Closed units 309 last year at this time, which was a record. That was awesome. We were so happy to see that. And now we are at 525, which is another record, right? We are up 70% in closings this year so far as a regional team. Closed volume 95 million. Man, we were so close to that 100 million mark last year. This year, we're at 193 million. And I think with the closings from this week and the beginning part of next week, I think we're going to hit 200 million, you guys, for the first time ever. So we're up 103% in closed volume, you guys. Gross commission income, which is our GCI, it's our revenue. It's important because that's how you make money. That's how we pay expenses, right? It's a win-win for everyone to make a lot of money. Last year, we were at 2.59 million. This year, we're at $5.2 million already for the year. That's an increase of 101%, you guys. That's massive. And what that means is our agent income went from having 1.29 million that we've paid out to 2.6 million of agent income this year. That is a lot. That's also an increase of 101%. That feels really, really good to me. Our average sales prices, look what they've done just for our team alone. We were at 307,000 last year for closings. This year, we're at 368. That means we're up 20% in our prices for closed. And then look what's happening to our pending prices, right? Last year, we were at 318. This year, we're at 404, which is really nice because that's a 27% increase in our pending prices. So I love that. Here's something you need to know really quick. In Texas, our teams here sell 3 homes per day, 22 homes per week, $8 million per week, right? 3 homes per day, 22 per week, $8 million worth of sales volume per week. That is awesome sauce, awesome numbers. So this morning, as we're celebrating all that, I wanted to highlight Allie. Allie, let me find you on my screen. Can you say something so I can find you? Because there's so many people. Allie. Maybe.
I'm right here.
There you are. All right, let me, I'm going to spotlight there you are. Woo! There you go. All right, I'll spotlight myself with you so you're not feeling as awkward. Okay, there we go. We can kind of see each other. Your makeup looks really nice. Good morning. Your makeup and hair. Shoot, man. Woo. We get the rest of us. We're going to work on that. Anyway, good morning, Allie.
Good morning.
I am so excited. I want to so here's the deal. Like Allie is in Dallas, which we have such great agents in Dallas. I love our Dallas agents. And, Allie did something last week that I thought was worth all of us hearing about. And for everybody in Dallas that already heard about it, I'm sorry I have to tell you again. But I loved something that you did last week, and I'm going to pull up my notes so that we can go over it. So last week, tell me a quick story of what you did, and like, did you do it by yourself? Like, were you made to do it? Did like Sarissa give you an ultimatum, like you better go do this, girlfriend? Or like, what did that look like? Tell us all about it so that we know how you were building your business last week.
Well, so obviously Dallas team, we like to stay positive, and in the office, I have a great teammate named Jordan Poland, and we're always kind of, encouraging each other to take the next step to get more business. And so we had been talking about going door knocking for a while, and we were like, okay, this weekend, then we wouldn't do it. We'd do an open house instead or whatever. So finally, Jordan, he's, I just love him, by the way. That's who you should have had on here, not me. But we talked about like, let's go door knocking, but we need to bring something of value to these people. And so in a neighborhood where I just sold a house, 14 offers, like one was like 60,000 over, asking, it was crazy. Anyway, the house ended up selling for 40,000 over. So we had that information, which is valuable to the neighbors. But anyway, so Jordan started talking about, let's bring something of value. So we came up with that. And then I tried to think outside the box because, nobody really wants to answer the door for strangers. I know I don't. And I'm probably the rudest person when someone knocks on the door. It's not even in my personality. It's something about that I hate. But do you want me to keep going? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. We all hate it. So like, that's why I like, just be real. I love it.
So in that neighborhood, they have a really cool community pool that is adults only, and which I thought it was like super neat.
Wow.
It looks out to Lake Louisville. So it's not quite Lake Travis, but it's Lake Louisville, and this pool looks out to it. And anyway, so I was talking to Jordan, and I was like, I think I'm going to go buy pool noodles for door knocking. And Jordan's like, oh yeah. And I said, yeah, I think I saw them at the dollar store. They have this great pool. And the thing about a noodle is that they're going to have to touch it one way or the other. If we knock on the door and we leave it, they're still going to see that there's a pool noodle there, and they're going to have to take it in. So I bought a bunch of red pool noodles to go with Keller Williams. And actually we made these cute little baggies, and Bath and Body Works was having a little sale on their hand sanitizers because everybody has too much now. So I bought a bunch of the summer themed hand sanitizers, put them in a little bags with Starburst and our information and information about Homeward, where we can make cash offers, and put another little teeny tiny piece of paper, but it talked about the specific stats for their neighborhood. So they were getting information about us, about the data in their neighborhood, the comps in their neighborhood. They were getting a pool noodle for the pool. And it made us like I didn't know this was going to happen, but it made us so much more like approachable, or like people weren't afraid of us because we walked up to the door with the pool noodle in our arms. So yeah.
I love that. Okay, what did you guys wear? Did you guys like wear your normal clothes? Did you wear something like place oriented? Like, what did that look like really quick?
Yeah, so we for sure wore our place shirts. Sarissa got us red shirts and black shirts. I'm all about the shirts. I used to be a teacher, so I love the theme. So Jordan and I talked about matching each other. So we both wore our red shirts, which made us look like we were a team, which we are. So
I like that. Okay, so one question I'm getting is like, if anything that you use as far as a template, would you shoot that over to me so I could shoot it over to everybody? Just like, I mean, even if it's like if you feel like it's so average, like it gives everybody a starting point.
Yeah, I can definitely do.
I love that. Okay, so then how long did you door knock for? Just give us an idea, just like how long this all took.
We tried to start early because it's so hot already. So we tried to start around 10:30
Okay.
and we at noon. We ended at 12. But something that Jordan did that was made it way more efficient and take less time was that he actually went into this database, which he can actually talk more about. But he was able to find everybody who had owned their homes for 5 years or more. So we were knocking on homes where people had equity and we could talk about that with them. Looked up specific addresses, make sure we didn't knock on any renters' doors. And so we went down the line and went to
How
those.
many do you think you went through?
I
How
know
many?
I only had 4 noodles left and I bought 20.
Okay,
So
great. So you are very like it was quality over quantity.
yeah. And I
Okay.
think we would have knocked more, but we actually had good conversations with people. And in the end, we actually got invited in to
Yeah.
someone's house.
Okay. So that was my next question. What did your results look like? Did you have any good conversations? Was it all just crap and you would never do it again? Like, what was like, tell us about that.
No, Jordan and I are already like, should we go back out Saturday? That was so fun, you know. The results were so much more worth it, I feel like, than the thing about open houses right now, which I actually love open houses, is that you've got a lot of people coming in with representation. I'm noticing that. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult to pick up buyers. But with this, you're literally just going to someone's door. There's nobody there. They're not thinking about selling, or they might be a little bit in the back of their mind. But yeah, each person that we got to talk to, I felt like they knew who we were. They knew we had just sold this house down the street. They knew that we knew what we were talking about. We got to talk a little bit about their neighborhood. So now they can put a face to the product and they know we're friendly, we're funny, those kinds of things. And so they're going to hold on to our little cards. I know that they will. I wish I would have had magnets though, you know? So anyway, but at the very end, we knocked on this lady's door and she was just so kind of beside herself because she's having to have foundation work done. And she was just like, oh gosh, yeah, I saw you guys in the neighborhood. She actually said she usually would in their door and not, let us finish our sentence. But her and her husband invited us in because they're so kind of desperate to figure out what they want to do with their home because they're having to make so many different repairs and stuff, but they've heard so much about how the market is a seller's market right now. So Jordan and I were able to like listen to them and help them realize that they're not hopeless. Like they've got a lot of opportunities. And so basically we picked up a seller or a listing for the end of the year, like November, December.
Okay, way to go. I love that. And then when you like, so walk us through you and Jordan showing up real cute in your red shirts with your pool noodles. You're knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell. You're stepping back. Let's say that they did open the door. What would you say?
We took turns, but I said like when someone would open the door for me, I'd be like, hey, I'm Allie, this is Jordan, we're just stopping by with our noodle because we just sold the house down the street. We know you've got an awesome community pool. We wanted to bring you something of value, so in this little bag it's got your neighborhood stats. And immediately it's the noodle allowed people to listen to us. I think had I gone and just been like, I've got neighborhood stats for you, we sold that house, here it is, they'd be like, whatever. But the noodle, they're like, okay, what else do these people have to say? So yeah, so then that brought on conversation. We said, are you thinking about buying or selling, or do you know anybody who is? And they would be like, well, not anytime soon, but tell me more. So then we would tell them about the offers that we got on the other house. It created great conversation, something where they had a major takeaway from us talking to them.
Got it. And did you go on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? When did you go?
Saturday at 10:30.
Saturday, 10:30 to 12. So we're talking 90 minutes. And this was like, I imagine this was like the first time you've done it in a while, because like, it's the first time I saw it on your Instagram, at least, right?
Yeah, you put everything there. It was the first time I had ever gone door knocking, which
okay.
now
Okay, good. Like there's a lot of first timers in this group. So like you're not the only one. I'm so glad that you said this is your first time. What would you do differently? Anything that you would do differently now?
I probably would start actually a little bit earlier.
Like
so
9 or 9:30, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, because it was very hot. But I would start earlier just so that we could get all of the noodles out. And if we do end up having these great conversations that take longer, it doesn't take away from the time that we've allotted to door knocking.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And then can you and Jordan like email me and let me know how you're getting that information? Kind of like, I guess, your process. I would love to share that with everybody because Dallas is a big city, Austin's a big city, San Antonio, Houston, shoot, Midland's a big city. Like, it doesn't matter how many agents we would have door knocking, there's so much business for all of us. And so you know, whether you want to do this or not, I want you to have another tool in your tool belt, you guys, to like just change it up, right? Maybe you do it before your open house. Maybe you do it around a just listed. Maybe you do it around a just sold like Allie and Jordan did. I thought it was a really great idea. And I love that you share that with us because like for me, like door knocking sounds scary, but you made it so human. And that's the key. How can you make something that feels scary or doesn't feel like you? How can you make it human? How can you like play along with this? So I like that. Anything else that you wanted to share this morning?
I mean, I think part of the key is going with someone else because I still feel like I'd probably be intimidated had I not gone with Jordan. But Jordan and our personalities complement one another. So going with someone who like, you know, we balance each other. So that was super beneficial. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. It's just like making calls. You don't want to do it, but then you get going and it seems okay. Same thing. Just drive over there, get out of the car, do it, and just, you know, have fun with it.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing this morning. Tony asked, did you have a listing presentation ready on deck? Or what did like, or were you like even expecting that?
You know, I mean, I'm in my backpack. I always carry around the seller's guide and anything else I could throw at them. But yeah, Jordan and I, we went in thinking we're going to get a listing out of this. We knew it. We just spoke it out into the world.
Yes. Okay. I love that. I love you, Allie. I love what you bring to the team. I love that you are always doing things to build your business, and everybody in Dallas is doing that. So I'm so happy to see that. Okay, great. Well, let's go on with the rest of our morning, guys. Ooh, let me see. Oh, I just removed Allie. Oh gosh, I did not mean to do that. I hope Allie comes back.
I'll tell her.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing, you guys. Like, I would try to remove the spotlight, and then all of a sudden it just removed her completely. Okay, so yesterday, you guys, what I did is, hold on, let me share my screen with you. I am not so done with Allie. Okay, cool. Hold on. And by the way, if any of you guys are doing cool stuff at any point, all you have to do is like DM me and let me know, hey, dude, I did something that I'm proud of. Like, would you like, let's talk about it. Cause I always want to feature people who are doing awesome things. I'm like obsessed with like our people succeeding. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go all the way to the top. I usually don't present. And the reason I don't present is I want to spotlight our people, right? But I did do a luxury mastermind yesterday, you guys. And so thought it was time for us to do a refresher on luxury in general, because all of our markets have plenty of luxury, don't they, right? There's opportunity for all of us to increase our business in the 750,000 plus space, because you have the expertise, you guys, you have the proven track record with your teams, and you'll make more money. So let's jump into today's topic. It was on the June Luxury Mastermind with Brady. Brady is the director of KW Luxury. So the goal of what I'm going to share today is to make sure that place is the best place for you to do business. And so just because this mastermind is only open to a few people, I want it to be open to all of us and all of us to have this information. So I'm going to take like 2 hours worth of content, and I'm going to try to put it in about 25 minutes. So I'm going to go really, really fast. What I want you to know is this slide deck, I'm going to send it to you afterwards. So don't worry about a thing. I'm going to send you the slide deck and the links that I use. We're going to talk about the amount of luxury being sold by Keller Williams, data points that you want to know, and some business building ideas that I heard that I thought were good. So if you guys are ready, give me like a head nod that you guys are still with me. All right, Melissa's with me, Dwayne's is with me, Gus is, all right, I see a lot of, there you go, I see Teresa. All right, so let's start off with, why are we talking about this? When you sell real estate, you are doing much more than just getting a contract signed, you guys. You're doing three things at least. You are building wealth for the clients that you're representing. You are keeping the economy moving forward locally, and you are keeping the economy moving forward nationally. So, like I said, all the slides will be shared with you, but I want you to know where my information is coming from. It's coming from the Federal Reserve, it's coming from the National Association of Realtors, and it's coming from the US Census. It is not my opinion, it's real, okay? Although we all have great opinions, but for today, we're talking about facts. All right, so let's start with first, you are building wealth for the clients you're representing. What does that mean? The most recent data from the Federal Reserve indicates that the net worth of a homeowner is 40 times greater than that of a renter, 40 times greater. And I love this slide because it shows us what 40 times greater looks like. It's pretty massive, right? So in 2019, the gap between a renter and a homeowner was $249,000. That was the gap between a homeowner and a renter. That's $250,000, right? So this should be all over our social media and all the conversations that we have with anybody who's in our database who is not a homeowner, right? The average renter in 2019 had $6,270 of net worth. That is, if they sold their car, if they sold their shoes, they sold their wedding ring, and they sold all their Robinhood stock, that's what they would have left after all of their expenses and all of their liabilities and credit card debt and all of that, right? As opposed to the average homeowner had what? $254,900 in net worth. So the story we want to continue to share is that owning a home builds financial security. Owning a home builds financial security, and the low rates of today are giving buyers a big boost in purchasing power. The low rates of today are giving buyers a big boost in purchasing power. So residential real estate, guys, they offer us two really great opportunities to bridge whatever problems that we're seeing in the world, right? Number one, what I mean is when you see people who haven't had the opportunity to build any sort of wealth, guess what? You get to help with that. Number two, there's a gift that we have, and that gift is all of our friends or all the people that we know that define themselves as underemployed. And they can become a realtor in our world. We have that ability to like have them join our world and do what we do. So because helping people build wealth is so important, it's exactly why we believe the pathway to the consumer is through the trusted local real estate professional, right? Through the trusted local real estate professional. It is what our company stands for. So let's talk about the real estate industry and what it accounts for in the state of Texas. This is not for the United States. This is the state of Texas, you guys. So it accounts for $285 billion. That's 16.2% of all of Texas gross state product in 2020. So the reason, you guys, that some people think of us as used car salesman or anything else you've heard is because we have trouble telling our own story. You guys, the real estate industry, every single transaction counts towards this $285 billion a year of economic impact. What you do matters so freaking much. You can see the breakdown of how that happens, and I'm going to break this down for you. To 24,800 it comes from income generated from real estate industries. What does that mean? That means like your real estate commissions, your title company fees, your inspections, your appraisers, your movers and their moving fees, right? So that this comes from there. Expenditures related to home purchase. What does that mean? That means when somebody buys something like a house, then they're buying furniture and they're doing some updates to their home, right? So some of that economic impact is there. there's another economic impact of 14,200, and that is something called multiplier of housing related expenditures. That means the money earned by that home sale gets recirculated into the economy, right? So that is, you're doing more good. And then, whoa, the last one is new home construction. And you're like, wait, it's not $46,000 to build a house. You're right. It's not $46,000 to build a house. Here's where this number is coming from. In Texas specific, in Texas, for every 6 homes that are sold, resale homes, 1 new home build is started in the state of Texas. So 1/6 of new home value is added to the economy every time you guys make a sale, right? So our industry, you guys, keeps people in your town, in your city, employed. You have so much to be proud of. Now, Ben shared with us this week that the real estate industry accounts for 40% of all consumer spending. So when the real estate industry does well, the economy does well. This is why we believe that you guys should be at the center of every transaction, not Zillow, not Redfin, you guys. And so the trick is to be able to compare and contrast yourself to the public, right? Here's a good script I heard yesterday that one of the luxury agents was using. And she said, there are 2 types of agents in this market. There are the minimum wage door openers and the minimum salary listing agents. And then there are extreme concierge level market experts, right? And your home purchase and your home sale represents the largest investment you'll make this year, maybe this decade. It's something I take very seriously. And that's why my commitment to you is to have the highest level of service in our industry. Right? So you'll get these slides. And so you don't have to like remember it for verbatim, but I would use a script like this. You got to compare and contrast what you do compared to somebody that just shows up from Zillow, or somebody who just is like a Redfin agent that's just opening their door, or a Redfin agent on a $60,000 salary, right? Like there's a big difference between what you're able to offer and your level of service compared to somebody that's just getting paid regardless. All right. So let's go into some luxury ideas I heard yesterday. I'm looking at my time, so I'm going real fast. Okay. Luxury ideas. So if we jump directly into luxury, the one thing about luxury is this: luxury is a state of mind, not a price point. Luxury is a state of mind, not a price point. What differentiates luxury agents from regular sales is their service level. So we talked about service moments yesterday. So if you guys stopped for a second and made a list of all the moments that matter to your client, what would be on it, right? Showings, home inspection, maybe your closing date. So you've probably given like a thought, like just a ton of thought around how to make that moment special, right? And the more planning that you've done, the more of an experience it becomes for your clients, right? So an example of that was shared yesterday was like, you can show up and show a house, or you can show up and show a house and do 11 other things. Maybe there's a bottle of water that you're bringing. Maybe that bottle of water has your logo on it. Maybe they're walking into the house and you're giving them their MLS brief. Maybe you've already looked at the seller disclosure and you speak to the age of the roof, the HVAC, the water heater. So we all have different ways of enhancing service. But then there's this other giant set of moments that don't matter. And here's the thing: those moments that don't matter, and those moments, they don't matter, guys, until someone else shows up and makes them matter. Here's what I mean. We talked about the example of Amazon. I don't think any one of us actually wanted Amazon. What we wanted was products delivered to our house quickly, sometimes on the same day, right? And at a really good price. That's what we kind of wanted. Amazon looked up and they took moments that didn't matter and turned them into an experience. So here's what I mean. Between the time when you order something and the time it shows up to your house, that moment like that didn't matter. But now you get a text when they're like 10 houses away, you get a picture that they delivered it, right? And a whole lot of stuff that they do, so that moment matters. So the question for us as we are thinking about luxury in a luxury state of mind is, what are all the moments that matter? And what are all the moments that we don't think matter? And then which of those moments can we impact positively so that we can turn that into an experience for our client? So the majority of those moments you're the only one, guys, that can impact that moment because it's a relationship business, right? But as you think about in what ways can we partner with you for those moments so that we are all undisruptible. Now, another idea I loved was awesome around charity and giving. There was this team that has Foster Fridays, where the team goes out to no-kill pet shelters and they flood their social media with all the pictures of the puppies and the kitties and God knows what else that need to be adopted, right? And as people come in and adopt them, they take another picture where they're standing there getting a picture with the person and the animal that they just adopted. And their tagline, you guys, is so cute. We don't just find homes for people. We don't just find homes for people. So I really liked bringing in a charity to everything you're doing and partnering with a charity and getting the collective power of your social media going. So I like that. Here's another one that we talked about. It's called shadow inventory. This feels like a lot of information. So if you have zoned out, come zone back in just for a second, because this one's really important, you guys. 64% of the American population say they don't know the value of their home. Now, it's not that they don't know it. They directionally know it's up, obviously, right? But it means they're walking around with a winning lotto ticket in their pocket that they just haven't scratched off yet, right? The number one thing we should be doing with everyone we know is to meet with them and show them, this is how much your house is worth. This is how much you owe. This is the check you'd get if you sold it. Because when there's a boom that happens, it changes and slows down in the future. It doesn't last forever. So the people you educated today on their home value is not wasted time. And what I mean by that is every single time in the history of time, whenever there was a boom, then there was like this kind of slowdown that happened. And those are the first sellers off the fence when things slow down, because they realized that they missed the super hot market and they don't want to miss out even more. So you could grade your entire day by how many people you give the actual value of their home to, and then tell them how much they would net. Keep them on that list, like on maybe the right side of your desk, or maybe you put it in a hot sheet, or maybe you tag them in Brivity, right? And then here's how it happens. Here's what happens when the market kind of feels like a little bit of a slight slowdown. It's not that the market's actually going to slow down. What's going to happen is they're going to go to the country club, and instead of someone saying, you got Rob, my house sold in 3 minutes, instead they're going to say, God, Joseph, my house has been on the market 3 weeks and I'm not really getting very many bites. So they take that anecdotal data and they make real life decisions. And if you marry it with factual data of like, here's how much your home is worth, in that moment, you truly become the fiduciary. So one thing that I liked is an old school thing that's becoming popular again. This Shannon Schmidt, who is one of our competitors in Austin, does this with great success. One of the things she does is she sends a current CMA to her clients every quarter, like a hard copy, you guys, a hard copy. It's a hard copy that she mails with a note on the home's value, because people know their house went up, but they don't know how much it's gone up. They will go to Zillow or they will go to you. It's your choice. They will go to Zillow or they will go to you. We already have them on market reports, but the market is moving so fast right now, especially in Texas, which is a non-disclosure state where home values are growing fast. So it's important for us to give them quarterly CMAs. Another thing that I heard was data problems. So if your immediate instinct right now is, I don't know any luxury people, or I don't know someone who would want to buy an investment property, or I don't know anyone who would buy a second home, right? You have a data problem. And here's what I mean. The cornerstone of your database is not emails. It's not phone numbers. It's not mailing addresses. It's not how many square feet and how many bedrooms they want. We all know that the cornerstone of our actual database is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So here's a couple things of did you know that you want to write down. Did you know the average American goes to the same 3 vacation spots their entire adult life? That's a conversation you can have about a second home. Did you know the average American ties their dreams to an actual destination? So what that means is they work their entire life, you guys, they save their money so they can retire somewhere. They have a place in mind. That's a conversation around their dreams, around where they want to go with their life. So your superpower is two things: your Brivity CRM that allows you to have so much data. And then number two, getting into deep relationships with the folks in your database. What's going on in their family? What's going on professionally? What are they doing for fun? What are their dreams? So a lot of luxury agents were saying that so many of their people are buying investment properties in their market and they are coming unrepresented because no one is referring them to them. And they have realtors back home, of course, but we have a great opportunity to deepen relationships and receive what's called mailbox money. Mailbox money is referral fees, you guys. So imagine for 1 second that your goal was to receive 3 referral checks every single month. That would change how you talk to your database, guys. The next thing we talked about was global agent versus city agent, right? We so often talk about being the local market expert that people don't think of us of anything more. And it's important to be a local expert, not discounting that. But I want to just kind of talk about this part. Your database needs to think of you as a global agent, not only an agent in Dallas, not only an agent in San Antonio, right? Don't underestimate the power of a survey with your database when you're talking to them. Here were the survey questions that a lot of these luxury agents are asking. And this is why they're luxury agents, guys. This is why they're not just one transaction, they're multiple transactions. They ask, how many of you would like to own an investment property? How many of you would like to own a vacation home? How many of you would like to own one or the other before the end of the year? What city do you want to invest in? What would you want your real estate monopoly board to look like? So they don't automatically, we want like the public, we want your database to not think of you as a global agent, like kind of like we look at, I don't know, like $1 million listing. We think of those people as global agents. We want them to think of you as a global agent. The way they do that is that they know that you can plug them into any city and you don't ever get there unless you're asking questions, right? That's how people are pulling 25% more deals out of their current database. Let's go to social media posts or database ideas. So if you don't have a big luxury presence, or even if you do, here are some ideas I heard yesterday that luxury agents are doing. They have a vacation home of the month where they're posting a vacation home. So think about like Samantha or Kyle or Marlene, like where would your people vacation? Like where do your people go on vacation? Do they go to Colorado? Do they go to Florida? Where do they go? Post a vacation home in that area, pick that listing, feature it on your social media, or feature it in a newsletter that you send out to your people. Luxury home of the month. What kind of home would your people upgrade to if they could upgrade? Income property of the month. What single family residence or duplex would your people buy or invest in if they could, right? The idea here, you guys, is to start to expand people's minds on what's possible. What they see, they start to believe. What they believe, they will act on. What they see, they start to believe. What they believe, they will act on. Okay. Contests came up yesterday. Running giveaways like best vacation photo during the summer so that people think of you and vacation in the same mindset. A giveaway isn't anything big. It has to be like maybe $50, $100. The goal is consistency, to do it every month. Rome wasn't built in a day, but I bet you if you do it 12 months in a row, I bet you'd see some success with it, right? Followers. There was a topic called followers, and I'm not talking about social media followers. I'm talking about when you're working with a client coming in from another area, ask yourself, who else wants to follow them here? Their mom, their sister, their brother, their friends. A lot of the luxury agents are winning big time because they are diving deep with them. Almost everyone who moves from somewhere has someone else that wants to follow them. Tap into that. Be super purposeful about it. See your business double as a result of it. All right, another favorite idea I had that these people shared with us was Touchback Tuesdays. Touchback Tuesdays was when you call CALL, call, not text, not email, call all your signed sellers, all your signed buyers, and your pending clients to touch base with them. Here's what you're looking for. You are looking for ways that you can add value, but you're also looking for, is there any fatigue? And is there any distress that they're feeling? You can hear it in their voice. You're not going to see it in their text. You're not going to see it in their email. And you can be proactive in helping them achieve their goals. And then when they rave about you, you get to ask them, what friends of yours can I adopt and help at this level of service that you're used to? All right. The book recommendation that I liked from yesterday was a book called Giftology. It is all around giving gifts, becoming the symbol of the value placed on the relationship. Doesn't mean expensive gifts. It means gifts at the right time in the relationship. Giftology is the book. If that interests you at all, I would read it. And then let's talk about the dialogue around price. Everyone is talking about price right now. And here's what we're hearing. Everyone in our databases is giving us a brush off. And this brush off sounds like, if I sell, I have to spend so much more money to buy something else because prices are so high. Anybody hearing that? Just a few of you? All right, I'm getting some head nods. You got to change the conversation. Stop talking about price. Everyone's talking about price. You're not going to win that price conversation. Start talking about payments. Here is what that sounds like. The chances are, Kyle, like if Gus bought a home and he bought it, I don't know, 5 years ago, his interest rate is higher than it is today. What does that mean? Upgrading isn't going to cost that much more per month, you guys. So turn the mindset around and focus on monthly payment. For $500 more per month, you're going to get your dream kitchen. Jennifer, for $500 more a month, you're going to get a pool. You're going to get a 30% bigger home. Charlie, for $1,000 more per month, you're going to get that brand new home you've always dreamed of. Change the conversation. Stop making it about price. Start making it about monthly payment. All right. And then let's jump into luxury market data. Here are the numbers. This is data from January 1st through May 31st. This is transactions over $1 million only. Keller Williams agents in the first 5 months of the year secured 16,032 listings over $1 million. 9,596 already sold. That is $15.7 billion of real estate that is luxury that has sold by Keller Williams agents. Here is why I'm sharing this. Come back in with me if you're zoning out. I'm sharing this because no other real estate company in the nation is doing this, guys. I want you guys to be armed with these stats that Keller Williams does more luxury than any other brand out there. And what I know is there is no one else better than the Benkeny team, than any of our place teams that has a higher level of service. So we have the service, we have the proven track record with our brokerage. I mean, we're out there to win, you guys. Total closed sales. Let's look at what we're doing with listings and buyers in the luxury space. KW agents in the first 5 months of the year had 20,003 transactions over $1 million. I think this is the headline when meeting with buyers and sellers in the 1 million plus range. No one is representing more luxury clients than Keller Williams. It's $33 billion sold of over $1 million properties in 5 months. Guys, here's why this is important. Never has there been more real estate agents in the nation. There are more agents on social media talking about how great they are and how great they're doing. But the absolute market expertise is right here in our own brokerage. It's Keller Williams. And Keller Williams dominates luxury. The data tells us that, not social media. The data tells us that. And I want you to have these numbers to make it easier for you to step up and get after these luxury listings and luxury buyers. Here's a fast fact for you. There's an enormous amount of money being moved around the country right now. If we looked at each person's database today, the research says that 25% of each person's database is thinking about or going to buy another piece of real estate this year. It may not be in their market. It may not be in your market. It may be in a different market. So luxury agents are really good because they serve 3 markets, not 1 market, 3 markets. They understand that they are serving the market that they're in, right? The market you've been serving. They understand that they are serving the feeder market that's coming into your market. That's where your buyer pool is coming from. And they understand the market where their sellers or where their clients' money may be going into. So when they're talking about the database, people in their database, they're going into it thinking about 3 different markets to serve. So why is this important? Okay, interest rates are driving this money movement. It will not last forever. Here's why. You can get $1 million mortgage right now for $4,000 a month. $1 million mortgage, $4,000 a month. Keep in mind, like that has not happened in the history of time. Historically, that is not the case. What that means is the number of people who can identify as luxury in this world has gone up dramatically. So question to ask is, who are all the people in my database that I didn't consider to be luxury buyers until I looked up and realized that that meant that they could spend $4,000 a month on a payment? It's very possible that some of us have shadow inventory sitting around in our own databases, guys. And I know you're thinking, well, it's not really just $4,000 a month. Well, actually, yeah, it is. If you can afford $4,000 a month, you guys, they're putting 20% down on this. That means that the lender is not making them put escrow in taxes and insurance, because people that are putting 20% down on $1 million, they can afford to make a one-time payment once a year. So it really is $4,000 a month. And that is the conversation. Now, top 10 areas I want to share with you that have the most transaction over $1 million for the first 5 months of 2021. California, obviously, still the number 1 area, right? But check out number 2 and 3, you guys. Who is number 2 and 3? Florida and Texas. And what separates Florida and Texas? 10 measly like transactions, right? The super majority of real estate agents are centralized, you guys, in 3 states: California, Florida, and Texas. There are 497,000 realtors in those 3 states alone. So you can see that we get to be blessed to be in an area where we can sell some luxury real estate. And by the end of the year, we're going to be number 2 in the entire country to sell luxury real estate. That's freaking phenomenal. Like, what a great opportunity. I grew up in the real estate business selling $130,000 homes in Tennessee. Like, being able to sell in this price point, this is awesome. This makes so much difference. But here is what is happening, you guys. I got to tell you about this one. It's not on my slide, so listen up. There's a K shape happening, right? Everybody knows what a K looks like. K, right? Straight line. Some of it goes up, some of it goes down. Here's what's happening. The K shape, according to Gary's research, means that the top agents right now are doing more business than they've ever done before. And the new agents in the industry are doing less production than any time in the last 20 years. Less production than any time in the last 20 years. And this is why when I see our Benkeny team agents doing $50,000 net income, $100,000, $150,000 in their first year, I know that that is by design and not by default, because it is not happening in the rest of the industry, right? The vast majority of agents are not selling a lot of homes right now. The K shape says that the top teams are getting stronger, they're getting more powerful, and the agents that are independent in their first 5 years in the business are selling less and less. You guys are eating up their market share. So I'm excited about our launch programs, our coaching programs, and the power-ups that we have, that we just get to collaborate with each other and help each other level up. Homes are staying on the market, guys. Across the nation, we're going from staying on the market 2 to 3 days to stay on the market 2 to 3 weeks. They're starting to happen in the 750,000 price points. So what you want to do is you want to price aggressively to be the belle of the ball, okay? And then I want to reiterate as we're wrapping up, if you're not grading your day by how many people that you give the actual value of their home to, and how much they would net, how much their check would be, and keeping that list and tagging them in Brivity, you're not going to be ready for the next opportunity, which is going to be when the market starts to soften just a little bit. Doesn't mean it's not going up. It's just not going up at like super warp speeds. It's going to just go up, incrementally. I want to make sure that you guys are giving these unique insights that is unique to them so that they think of you. Because when they'll get off the fence, and they will get off the fence, all of these people that you gave market values to, they're going to get off the fence first. if you're not doing that for them, Zillow is, somebody else is. And when you do call them, you'll be too late because somebody else got to them first. The thing I want to wrap up with is this thing called a 60-day rule. And so research says that people have about 60 days of tolerance for being quarantined before they change their behavior, or they start lashing out, or they become demotivated, or they want to quit, or they shut down, or a combination of all of those things. And what we talked about is we've been in a crazy year, crazy world for so long now, and people are still dealing with it. So if this is you guys, if it's anybody on this call, I just want to re-invite you guys to reconnect with your team. Guys, we love you guys. We believe in you. We want you to succeed. So if you are feeling that, like, it's actually absolutely normal because we just went through a crazy year. The answer is not to shut down. The answer is not to go find a new career. The answer is not to, say, oh, I guess I'm not motivated. I guess this isn't for me. No. Come back into the office. Come back and reconnect with your fellow colleagues. Like, that is the answer. Like, there's a reason that you started this career. There's a reason you were hired, and it's because you have dreams. Don't let what happened in the last year be like the thing that drags you down. Do not give it that amount of power. It doesn't have that much power. So guys, that's all I had. Woo! Thank you for living through that. I'm going to send you guys all of this data. I have not obviously kept up with chat, so whatever's happening, thank you for all of you wonderful people who always type into chat. I see you. I know how engaged you are, and you guys are so valuable. Next week, we're starting off the third quarter. I can't believe it's here. So we will have either Ben or Chris, one of them is going to confirm with me and tell me who's showing up and doing something cool. And if you're missing out on the Friday calls, you guys, get on the Friday calls at 10 a.m. with Chris. Man, he is a master. If you've disconnected from that, jump back in. It's an hour and it will leave you feeling like you too can be the master that you choose to be for the dreams that you have. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Adelina.
Bye, Adelina. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.